a talented
No,
rapper.
and I wasn't referring to him in his musical career. I was referring to saying like Biggie Smalls and all of that, and not. And I was talking less about his music and more about his commentary on.
Exactly. And on that note, I don't agree with he said Drake's more talented than Tupac and Biggie and like all this. Like but he understands. That's the thing. He understands that the more he says of that, the more popular he's gonna get.
Yeah, I mean, historically and currently, controversy breeds attention, and controversy breeds people paying attention to what you're doing.
Exactly. And when you talk about something like that, you're taking two of the biggest, hip hop history ever, and you're putting them down.
Yeah.
So all the people who love him are gonna comment whether the time.
But your name is still gonna be. What's that called when everybody's always talking about?
Circulated?
No, but
Grammys
to deal with SoundCloud views.
It's not unlicensed. They let free music that wasn't available.
So that means that you could utilize SoundCloud streams and stuff like that. And for people out there who don't realize, is prior to them changing that, your free streams like DatPiff, SoundCloud could not be counted towards you moving units and stuff like that to qualify you for a Grammy or whatever.
Yeah,
but
you get like
Chance
really 6 cents a stream or something like that.
He did. He's nominated for like 7 Grammys. He's nominated for like 7 different Grammys.
Yeah, I mean,
for a gospel album, that's just garbage.
Oh, I love that album.
I don't like that shit.
That album.
Here's the difference in the opinion.
See, like I like the other Chance. The what's the shit called?
What's that?
The Everybody Somebody. The first one. What was it called? Yeah, it was the first. The first wasn't even an album.
Acid Rap.
Acid Rap.
Yeah.
The Acid Rap is killer.
But he had 10 Day before that. And 10 Day he had like some trap shit. He used a waka beat on that. He still had some gospel.
But then that's when he went straight to church on us. Like I wasn't really feeling that.
But he's always
hang around Kanye too much.
Oh man, I do love me Kanye, man.
I like Kanye too, but
that song too. That's
everybody.
Ultralight Beam.
I like that song, but everybody's what I'm saying is everybody can't be Kanye.
Oh no.
Be Chance. Don't be Chance's version of Kanye.
Oh, you're right. But here's the thing. I think too that when it comes down to that, you got your Kanyes and you got your Chances. But when it comes down to Chance, somebody like that, like you just said, Kanye said, but it wasn't even close. No. Even close.
It was half gospel, half porno. I mean, she was all type of confusing.
But then you hear songs like...
most of the songs, half of the songs is about doing all kind of crazy, wild, sexual stuff. And the other half of it was gospel.
It was.
If I got bleach in my T-shirt...
Wait a minute. So it was a porn? It was a porn hymn?
It was, that's not...
Gospel.
That's not an inaccurate way of describing it, though. Because he goes from, the song where he's praising God and he's got Kirk Franklin leaving a hymn to, if I fuck this model and she just bleached her asshole, I'm bleaching my T-shirt, I feel like an asshole. But that's why I love Kanye, man. Kanye's going to be Kanye no matter what.
Yeah, that's cool. Let Kanye be Kanye. Everybody can't do it. Yeah, exactly.
But again, I think that Chance was Chance on the Coloring Book, man, because that song, what was it? Finish Line Drown.
Didn't he write? Didn't he write a lot of Kanye shit? Didn't he?
That's
Chance.
That's controversial.
I thought people already accepted that was a fact. Though.
Well,
I don't know. I'm asking.
The thing is that I have heard from many times, and this is straight from the horse's mouth because Sci-Hi the Prince, they say, writes a lot of Kanye shit.
That's the one I. You know what?
No, well, Sci-Hi the Prince.
I was kind of thinking about.
Sci-Hi the Prince and Rhymefest. Rhymefest, the other one.
But Sci-Hi said, he was like, I'll be in the room with, Kanye and 7 other people, and just because I'm in the room, he'll give me writing credits. That doesn't mean that Sci-Hi even wrote a single fucking word. But he was in the room, so Kanye branches out and he says, he inspired me, he was there for the process, so he gets credits.
I mean, that's totally different.
It is, but that's different as opposed to...
It's easy for things to get misconstrued in the net and
100%.
The way people process it.
Because ever since Drake shit with Quentin Miller, people just look at album credits and they see another name that isn't Aubrey Graham or Kanye West, and they're like, oh, well, somebody wrote it for him.
Yeah, exactly.
It's different than Beyonce, who's got 40 writers, and I love Beyonce. Beyonce's phenomenal.
I mean, that's just the way it is.
She doesn't write.
That's different,
I love Beyonce, dude. Mostly because, the fact that she's like an 11 out of 10, but I also... Oh, my God. Listen to Solange's album, too. What was that, A Seat at the Table?
Solange, I love Solange.
That album was phenomenal.
She did New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
She did the New Year's Eve joint, and she went hammer.
That song, too, with Weezy, with Lil Wayne on that album, A Seat at the Table. You know what's funny, too, about that? Because while we're talking about, that kind of shit, you got Wayne out 3, which is like highly regarded as the best mixtape of all time, to nowadays where he's got that verse on what the fuck is that new one? He's on that new Baby E mixtape that just dropped yesterday and 2 days ago.
Oh yeah.
He, people hate on Wayne. People hate on Wayne.
Yeah, but he's already so successful. It doesn't really matter if they hate on him.
He is one of the most legendary artists ever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Whether you like him or don't like him, the bottom line is his level of success has already cemented his place.
And I like to say, and this doesn't mean that every single person, their mother and their aunt, is like this. But if you are around my age and you never listen to any Lil Wayne, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Because
that's impossible because it was everywhere.
It was everywhere.
And he was like what they call a feature whore. He was on everything.
He was. And he still is.
But if you think about it, that was a dominating strategy.
It was.
Like me personally, I don't really like Lil Wayne, but I respect the fact that you gotta respect the dude's hustle and the way that he expanded himself.
And when you got something, because like we were just saying, he goes from, the drought or like whatever, what the fuck was the other one?
To being on pop like songs.
And exactly.
In all the spectrums.
And then he made the fucking rock album. Dude, get out of my face. If you're gonna, let me say this right now, if you're gonna make a rock album, do it like Childish Gambino just did.
Yeah.
I don't even like Childish's album,
but
except for Redbone and Me and Your Mama.
He's talented though.
But that's a funk album. Yeah. That's like a 70s funk album. And he did it right. That's not my kind of music, but he did it right. He did.
You can respect the level of the quality of what he did in that genre, that situation.
Because somebody like me who listens to Bon Iver and fucking, like I was talking about, The Clash.
You have a very diverse,
everywhere, man.
Is there somebody older than you that was in the music a lot?
My dad or my older brother.
I was gonna say, because usually people that are your age in the 20s range that have that type of somebody older that was really in the air. With
my mother showed me Crossroads by Bone Thugs when I was 6 and Juicy by Biggie when I was 7, and then I stole my stepfather's Snoop Dogg album when I was 8. What was that, Doggy Style?
And that was the beginning of
it. And that was the beginning of it. And then I stole his NWA album, Straight Outta Compton. And then he never got those back. I still got those.
So I was going to wait till you were done on that.
Oh, go for it.
I was going to say is to put things in perspective. Yeah. You're now a guest on this show, right? About 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had the Lady of Rage from Death Row on our show.
Shit.
She called in, and she's actually
crazy.
And now you're on the show.
Talking about.
And now you're the guest on our show.
Yo, that's wild.
Lady of Rage, Afro Puffs. Yeah, she was Baby D and that's the big homie right there.
That's unreal.
That's our people's right there.
We're
not close friends, but we're associates because I'm good friends with her,
her co-host.
Yeah,
man, that's
so
wild.
You bringing up that dog stuff, I'm just saying, but like in perspective, you're a guest.
Yeah, how it
weeks
rolls
ago,
around,
she was our calling guest because she lives in California.
That's awesome.
She was our calling guest, and she is the first verse on that album.
That's unreal, dude. I love that kind of shit.
See how it all connects though?
I do. No.
Hip hop is a
It's like meeting anybody who, oh God, can like hold a conversation and act.
He expanded himself.
And when you got something, because like we were just saying, he goes from the drought or like whatever. What the fuck was the other one?
To being on pop like songs.
And exactly.
In all the spectrums.
And then he made the fucking rock album. Dude, get out of my face. If you're gonna, let me say this right now, if you're gonna make a rock album, do it like Childish Gambino just did.
Yeah.
I don't even like Childish's album, except for Redbone and Me and Your Mama.
He's talented though.
But that's a funk album. Yeah. That's like a 70s funk album. And he did it right. That's not my kind of music, but he did it right. He did. And
you can respect the level of the quality of what he did in that genre, that situation.
Because somebody like me who listens to Bon Iver and fucking, like I was talking about, The Clash.
You have a very diverse,
everywhere, man.
Is there somebody older than you that was in the music a lot?
My dad or my older brother.
I was gonna say, because usually people that are your age in the 20s range that have that type of somebody older that was really in the air. With
my mother showed me Crossroads by Bone Thugs when I was 6 and Juicy by Biggie when I was 7, and then I stole my stepfather's Snoop Dogg album when I was 8. What was that, Doggy Style?
And that was the beginning of it.
And then I stole his NWA album, Straight Outta Compton. And then he never got those back. I still got those.
So I was gonna wait till you were done on that.
Oh, go for it.
I was gonna say is to put things in perspective. You're now a guest on this show, right? About 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had the Lady of Rage from Death Row on our show.
Shit.
She called in, and she's actually
crazy.
And now you're on the show.
Talking about.
And now you're the guest on our show.
Yo, that's wild.
Lady of Rage, Afro Puffs. Yeah, she was Baby D and That's the big homie right there.
That's unreal.
That's our people's right there.
Hey,
we're not close friends, but we're associates because I'm good friends with her.
Yeah,
her co-host.
Yeah, man, that's
so
wild.
You bringing up that dog style, I'm just saying, but like in perspective, you're a guest.
Yeah, how it
weeks
rolls
ago,
around,
she
man.
was our calling guest because she lives in California.
That's awesome.
She was our calling guest, and she is the first verse on that album.
That's unreal, dude. I love that kind of shit.
See how it all connects, though?
I do. No.
Hip hop is a.
It's like meeting anybody who, oh God, can like hold a conversation and actually talk about.
She's from DC too, and if you listen to that beat, when you go home, check that. Listen to that song real quick. And you listen to the beat, it's that go-go beat in the background. Like,
I know what you're talking about now too.
It's nice to see people. Basically, the reason why I'm trying to bring it all up is it's nice when people get big, but they retain the connection to their own roots. 100%. That doesn't mean you gotta live where you're from or just deal with people where you're from, but do something that. Like, I have a less respect for an artist that comes in the scene and they're from, like, let's say up north, but all they do is sound like they're from the south.
Are you talking about, like, A$AP Rocky?
I actually like them dudes.
I love A$AP.
He's a little feminine for me sometimes with some of the shit that he does. But that's you young cats, not you, but that's you young dudes are more feminine these days with the way they dress and...
Everybody's in touch with themselves nowadays like crazy.
Yeah, that's a good way to call it. In touch with yourself.
Yeah, in touch with yourself. Too much. Every time I listen to A$AP Rocky, I wanna. You know what I mean? Like,
A$AP ain't that bad.
No, I actually like. Yo, what's that song that you know what's going to be? That song's banging.
Which one?
What the hell is that?
He's talking about Tupac. I don't know.
No, him.
That's what it sounded like.
Gold something. What the fuck? What the name is that? I don't know. I can't think of it off the top.
I don't know. I was listening to a bunch of A$AP today, actually, to be honest with you. I remember when, you know what? Goldie. That's what you're talking about. That's a banger. That's my favorite song. I remember when that came out. I was sitting in English class sophomore year. I was like 15 years old, and I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta listen to this."
But you know what I like? But you know what? But can I say something about them though? One thing I want to say about the A$AP team is that they have that trap type of sound, but they've always admitted that they were inspired by that chopped and screwed music.
Hell yeah.
But they do it, but they also still keep it Harlem.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think what's cool about that too, because they
don't remind me of the way I look at design. Put it that way.
No, yeah, you're right.
There's a difference.
100 times. He is like straight boom bap, always. And like on that new A$AP Mob album that just came out, he has like the only like non-trap influence song on that. I like that album. Oh, the song?
No, the album.
I like the album.
I'm gonna go and listen to it because, like I said, there's a lot of dudes I really don't care for, but I do like some of their music, and I think they're talented.
Tread lightly just because it's not a Rocky album. And like you said, his crew is very, very trap influenced, especially because they signed Playboy Cardi and shit like that. So they're moving more to that. But what I like about A$AP too is he produces a lot of his shit now. So
he's got his own sound, like that that bugged out sound.
What he likes to do now too, I remember him saying this. He likes to take like classical music, like symphony type shit, and mix it with trap music. And when it comes to that,
wrong with that.
That's what I love, man, because you can put it all together. That's why on my album you're gonna that's the live instruments I love, dude. Like guitar, piano, man, harps. Like we're using instruments that you would not typically find, or that I would not typically find on a hip hop album, which I love because what's that song? Oh, I can't say that word.
You can say whatever you want.
Album,
Oh yeah.
Rich N words.
Yeah.
He made the beat with a heart.
We're not gonna say nothing, but you might get caught coming out the station.
Yeah, I'm not saying shit.
We can give you a pass.
I would never, not in public nor in private. I would not.
So we might give you a pass, but that's not for everybody else.
We can't give you a pass, but
he's playing a harp on that song.
Yeah.
And that blew my mind to this day when I listen to that song.
I mean, who the hell knows how to play a harp?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I mean. But then, you got people playing the violin on I love. What's that band? They had that song Rise. Flowbots. I used to love Flowbots. They had that song Handlebars. I can ride my bike with no handlebars.
Yeah.
Every song they got has a violin in it. And that is something that you never find nowadays. So I love that shit, man. If you can find something like that nobody uses and make that your own sound, dude, by all means. By all means. The further.
They don't want to find their own style these days.
They don't.
They want to just...
That's what sucks nowadays, man, because I spend like 3 hours a day just trying to find new music, and 85% of it is literally just like 808s and 64 note hi-hats. Like, it's all just the same.
Yeah, it's kind of, that...
Somebody got Fruity Loops and just drew it in.
Yo, you want to hear something?
Drew their name in, and you can go to Fruity Loops. You go to Fruity Loops and draw your name in and make a beat.
Yeah.
Draw your initials.
Yeah, with the 808.
Anything, it don't matter what it is.
So what? I actually got some historical information on the 808 the other day that kind of surprised me.
What's that?
I was talking to a good friend of mine, Johnny Juice, who's the Puerto Rican DJ from Public Enemy, and he basically his first rap group included Busta Rhymes.
No shit.
Yeah, before anybody blew up or anything.
That's crazy.
So we were talking about. We were talking about the 808, and he says, "Yo," he said to me straight up. He says, "You can almost single-handedly blame the bullshit 808 way that people do on what's his name? Was it Dr. Dre or Ed Lover? It was It was Dre, Dr. Dre, not Dr. Dre from the West Coast. Dr. Dre from New York, from the MTV Raps before your time.
Oh, okay.
So he was saying that he created that. And that basically, like, he started that, like, before nobody knew how he did it, how he extended it like that, but he did, and that kind of opened up the wave for all the 808 stuff.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that.
Johnny Juice it was a lot of historical stuff that. So shout out to DJ Johnny Juice from Public Enemy. He'll be a future guest of ours again. I mean, a lot of hip hop knowledge. He actually has a book coming out on a lot of historical stuff. But anyways, let's get back to you. I was just wasting time for this to get uploaded.
Oh yeah.
So back to you, so we can single it out. So what is the next thing that people can expect from T-Rads?
So, like I said, the album is very, very near its closing point. We are very close to being done.
What's the name of it again?
It's called Cinematic.
Cinematic.
The idea of the album, there's a song by The Faces, Rod Stewart's band from the 70s, called Ooh La La. And I wish, and that is the idea of the album. If I went back right now to when I was 14, 15, starting out, what would I do and how would I do it? And how would I look at it? So I'm putting myself into my own shoes. I wrote a screenplay, so it's a movie. It's a cinematic. That's the whole point. So there's a screenplay that goes along with it. And the idea of the movie is it's one long journey, one path. And the idea is to find a place where you're actually going to end up. Because regardless if you actually hit one final destination, and I don't mean a house to live in or whatever, it's a state of mind. It's a state of mind trying to figure out success and
where your place is in the universe.
Absolutely. And, a happiness, whatever that means to you, that's what the album is about. Because if I was to start right now all over again, what would I do? I'd try not to grow up. That's the number one thing. I would just, I look at it like I want to do this forever. But the truth of it is nobody lives forever, as we all know. And when you think about it like that, what are you going to do before you're gone? So when I wrote the screenplay for the movie, which is going to, what I want to do, what I would like to do, which I'm planning on doing, we're shooting the first 2 videos very soon. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out, we're shooting a video for the intro next week.
Yep.
And we're going to start out with that. And what I would really like to do is film a video for every single song. And I want it to play out the entire movie. But
that'd be pretty dope, though.
It would. And that's the thing, though. You got to think about how you can break up, 3-4 minute songs into what is a movie. Because I'm not going to do the Lemonade, not the Beyonce, and make an actual movie. Also, I got to be honest. I think that shit's kind of corny. Because you're basically trying to force a movie.
Yeah, you're basically trying to force something.
Well, not necessarily if you do it in mind.
Which is tough. But that's what I mean. It's tough. Because you got somebody like Childish Gambino, whose show Atlanta is amazing, and he is a very talented.
I haven't actually seen that yet, but I heard it was actually pretty excellent.
It's fantastic.
I actually have not heard it yet.
But he was, he was a writer for 30 Rock, and he was on Community, and
30 Rock.
He did a screenplay for his album Because the Internet, and it's so difficult to piece together what he did. That's my only complaint about that.
Well, that's, like you said, it's because he did it because of the internet.
Exactly.
It wasn't made in mind when they both created together.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
When you think about that, because the music videos that he did have some kind of linear equation to them, and I read the screenplay, and a lot of it just has to do with the dude, him, traveling to Oakland, and when you think about it like that, you have somebody who, which is my exact complaint about Beyonce shit. And Beyonce's an actress. She's been in movies and shit. But when you force that kind of thing, you got awkward acting like I Love Drake.
Forced.
His movie that he came out with, that shit was gone.
He had a movie?
He made a short film that went on.
He started at Degrassi.
He did. And I think Drake's a good actor too, because when he's on SNL and shit, he's funny.
Yeah, he is.
He's funny.
Yeah,
But
he ain't funnier than, I got to shout out, the funniest artist that goes on there.
Justin Timberlake.
Hands down. If they could afford Justin Timberlake, he would be on there.
And it's funny too, that kid, what's his name? Pete Davidson. I love that kid. He's a new comedian. He's actually, I think he's still on SNL even through the recent like let goes because they let go of that dude. What's his name? Jay Farrow, the dude who does all the impressions.
Oh yeah, why they let him go?
They clean house like once a year.
Oh yeah, but they gotta switch it up.
They do, but nowadays, man, it's like when Chance was on. He was the first independent artist ever on SNL. But now they basically focus on the hosts and the music. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still the comedy, but they draw people in with the music. Like when Kanye did SNL.
Yeah.
And he popped up at the end after he laid down. That shit was weird, but it was crazy. It was cool. When he popped up at the end, he was like, "The album's available online now," which it wasn't because I was pissed. But that was the most. I think I'm pretty sure I read that. That was the most they ever had watch SNL at one time.
Yeah,
during his performance.
The numbers would go up like that.
And that's awesome. But you need like an Pete Davidson fan.
He did good with the impressions.
The impressions were good.
Yeah, the impressions were definitely good.
But other than that, like, what did you really have with, like, I don't know. I just feel like their cast and crew, other than Keenan, my boy. I love Keenan, but he is like. He's like the only one that still like gets me laugh out loud other than Pete Davidson. And like everybody's got their own sense of humor.
Yeah.
Pete Davidson's more of like a frat, like
a goofy motherfucker.
Yeah, dark, like weird humor.
Yeah, dark weird humor. Yep.
And that's the thing too, because his special that he just came out with, what the hell was that called? It was SMD, but that's like his dad's who died's initials. His dad died in 9/11, and yeah, that's his dad's initials.
They had no. Why don't you grab it? So I'm on TV, buddy.
I'm on TV.
But a lot of people hated that comedy special, but I thought it was hilarious.
I mean, there's always different opinions. So getting back, how can people find your music if they're looking for your music?
So you can find me anywhere, absolutely anywhere, at Trads Official. That's TRADS Official.
Is there a dot?
Nope, not on any of the links. It's all just TRADS Official. That's YouTube. That's SoundCloud. We got the all the singles and the upcoming album is going to be on Spotify and Apple Music and all of that.
Is there a future show coming up?
Like I said, we got a couple coming up. We're going to do an album release show.
It doesn't matter if you don't say it on camera, bro.
Yeah, you're right. We're actually doing a festival up in Boston in I think March with Token and I think my boy Clancy's on there too and some really really good acts up there. We're trying to get, like I said, that show I was telling you about, January 28th. We're hoping for the Isaiah Rashad show. I don't know if that's happening yet, but we're hoping for that one coming up.
So what's the best way for people to stay in tune to check for those shows? I mean,
you can go on my Facebook. You can add my artist page like that. We're actually this is probably a good forum to shout it out.
Good plug.
Me and my close friend and my cohort in music, Tosca, have a competition right now. How are we doing, my friend? We are both around the 6 on our page. Race just for a good competitive thing. Whoever can get to 2,000 first gets to basically trash the other person in eggs. And we're gonna do that live for everybody to enjoy and shit.
Pretty awesome.
So yeah, that's what it is.
That's pretty pretty competitive. I mean, and that's pretty competitive, and that's what we want to see. We here at the Chop Shop Radio, we encourage the youth to have healthy competitions, and we don't need hip hop to be a competition where people are shooting each other and hurting each other. There can be healthy competitions, and that could happen. Like the brother here and I were in a competition recently, and we were in a rap battle. I say it like rap battle. No, I say it like that. I say it like that because it wasn't a traditional battle where we're like, I hate you, I want to kill you. It was just lyrical, and he did very well, very very well, to the point where he almost beat me. And he says
almost beat me instead of saying I beat him.
We had
the coaching games.
Yeah, the coaching games. So we had the competition, but as you see, he's here now on the show. So we encourage that there's healthy competition.
Definitely.
All competition doesn't have to be negative.
Always.
All competition doesn't have to be aggressive, like to the point where I'm gonna kill your mother, I'm gonna pee in your cup, and
on that note too, we had to beat some talented MCs to get to those finals too.
Yeah, I mean it was. I mean, for everybody who doesn't know, there is an event that is being held here in Providence. On Richmond Street at the new spot. Check out the new spot, Alchemy. It's a dope club over here. It's right next door to the Chop Shop Radio, which is right here on Richmond Street, right over here near Club Eco. And also our boy, shout out to Sajo's Pizza. You know what I'm saying? Our guy downstairs. Always go down to Sajo's right there. Hook up. He's right downstairs. Sajo's Pizza. That's our guy right there downstairs. So this whole area, they got the tattoo place. This whole area is being creative. There? Yeah, they do. Yep. Here's the menu right here.
Ooh,
so there's all of that going on. So the Culture Games is an event, is a freestyle rap battle and a b-boy competition that Dirty puts on, and the next one will be February 25th. I am the 2-time champ. I'm going for gonna be right here. So
It's a week after Valentine's Day. No heartbreaks.
no heartbreaks. No 808 or heartbreaks. So Cash has to lead us into the next part of this. This is the part of Cash. Do you want to ask the magic question that we ask here on the Chop Shop?
Yeah. So you know where Bourbon Street is?
I do not.
Bourbon Street is in New Orleans.
It's in New Orleans,
Is it?
and they have Mardi Gras out there.
Oh, okay.
You know what they're known for?
Obviously, you never heard of it.
Ooh.
It's known for its buys. It was
I'm just
close.
saying.
It was close.
You know
Known
what
for its
they
buys.
It's known for its buys.
It's Baz.
Buys.
Are you making fun of me?
No, that's
We
what I said in New
all from
England. I
there.
said in New England.
What meaning drinking bars or
No.
rapping bars?
They're bars, but
Yeah.
your bars.
Alright.
Over
They're
here.
bars.
Okay.
Bars.
It's a hip hop in the window. So basically, we've come to the part of the show where we've done all this talking.
Yeah.
But you're here because you're an MC.
Oh, absolutely. Let's do it.
So we gotta give them
Shine,
something. And
player,
feel free.
shine.
And you can say whatever you want, but if you drop the N-word, you're on your own.
I would never. Oh, man. Yeah, no, let's get it. What do we got? We got a beat? Or?
No.
All
Just
right,
you.
off the top.
Yeah.
All right, what do I got?
We'll get you a beat if you want a beat. I mean,
I'll do it acapella over a beat, whatever you guys want.
Okay, let him do acapella. We don't normally make him do acapella, so let him. You know what I mean? He's a talented
shit.
young man.
I said, open up the windows. Catch a deep breath. Rappers out here suing for lines, that's like a seamstress. I seem stressed, well I probably am. I paid Plaxico to shoot, he missed an artery, man. Troy Ave got better shots at an archery stand. And Mrs. Officer 5, but this ain't the Carter 3. Damn. Fiends scratching like a lottery scam. New druggies a movie pistol cause they gotta be jammed. Save the hearts and the soul and put the bags on ice. When that market crash again, we'll sell them half off price. When Donald Trump is president, there'll be a tax on life. Presidential nominees would turn their backs on spines. It's not enough to just say it, they're numb to the pain. This would've fuck you forever and never come to change. 4 quarters of scratch to let you run the game. Poison IV, pumping blood to the vein. Itch to rush in the game, then retire and laugh for 20 million. And leave this world a better place and place a die in a crash. It's treads.
buys. Bourbon
It's funny
Street.
we always say that, you know what I'm saying, Boz is from New England and all that. He was just like, you making fun of me? He was like the first one that ever said that shit. You making fun of me?
I hear it all day, every day. Everybody that I work with is from
Accents,
Cleveland,
right?
so everybody just
Okay.
makes fun of me from my eyes.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Any top fives?
Top five.
No legends that have been
you're up
buried.
next.
No
The
legends
top
that have
fives.
Top 5 artists
You
of all
got
time.
your moment coming up next.
Top 5 artists of all time.
And they not on the ground.
Off top. Okay, in my humble opinion, like I said to you, my biggest inspiration always will be Mac Miller. I love Mac Miller.
Is that because he's a white MC?
It's not. What's funny? And,
a serious
No,
question.
that's a good question. It's funny too because most when people ask that, people are like, "Oh, good one."
If he said Eminem, that would have been the first thing you
And
guys
that's,
thought.
oh, absolutely. And what's funny is Eminem's not anywhere near my top 5. I think because when I saw him, I saw a kid who was doing what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And when I think about it like that, I will never, I don't want to make music how somebody else wants me to make music. I want to do what I want to do and what I think is cool and what I think sounds good and what makes me happy to listen to. I will never, for the sake of it, just make some kind of pop tune because I want other people to hear it. I might make some kind of pop tune, but I'm gonna like it. It's gonna be something that I like. And if that is the way that it has to go, then that's the way it has to go.
Well,
I'll never sacrifice what
A lot
I
of rappers
want.
don't have that luxury, you know what I mean?
Oh, you're right, and you're right.
They go out there and they be like, this is what I want, and the record label be like, no, this is what we want.
Nah,
Get that-
'cause
put
this
that
is what
shit
you
down.
need.
Yeah, this is what you're gonna do.
But top 5, I would say Mac Miller. Gotta have Kanye in there. I love Kanye. Jesus Christ.
Show what you working with. Show me your weapon.
Frank Ocean.
Hey, buddy,
I
they gonna
love
have
me
two
some
shows at
Frank
once.
Ocean, man. Frank Ocean is that dude.
Yeah.
Super
I
dope.
love Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean this year, Blonde, best album of 2016 by a fucking mile. And I will death. Those albums you listen to first track to last track. And every single song, you're just like, you feel something else. It's not like one whole album where you're just mad depressed, or like one whole album where you're banging out like a Ray Shremmerd album. Every single song is something different. There's just, that song Nights, which is like number 9 or something like that. He is, a bisexual, gay, whatever, male singer who is, kind of feminine.
He's a trisexual. Try anything you want.
But the second half of that song on that beat switch, there's not a soul who can't hear that and be like, oh, that's great. It's got like that gritty kind of sound that's just like a dark, you know what I mean? And then there are other songs that are like real pop music that would be on the radio. And then the last song, which every single time hits me, there's no structure. He's just talking,
and
then he's rapping, and then he's singing, and it's like the sound that he gets out of it, it's a Futura drum, which is crazy to me because that is never used in any facet of music. He's got Futura drums, and I don't even know if I pronounced that right, but and he's got a weird little like. It's almost like a toy piano in the background. It sounds fucking weird.
There's probably some Genesis games.
And it's cool.
That's
but
what
you know what it is? It hits you with like a level of nostalgia that like you don't often get. Like you listen to Bon Iver at all?
No.
Bon Iver is they're a funk like not a funk folk like indie kind of band.
Where are they from?
Where are they from? I want to say they're from. Damn, I looked this up the other day too. I'm gonna say something wrong. I don't fucking know. But they used to work with Kanye quite a bit, and they brought on that prism effect that you hear. No, it's not exactly auto-tune, but it's almost like you're hearing like 10 different voices at once, and it sounds like you're trapped in like a box. It's crazy, but they have this kind of aspect to their music where you listen to it, and it's almost like you can remember hearing it 10 years ago, even if it's brand new.
Yeah, and that's like Gnarls Barkley in a way, you know.
Oh my
Gnarls Barkley is so dope.
Yo, shout out to CeeLo Green, man. I love CeeLo Green.
So at this point, stick around. You want to stick around and add commentary?
Oh,
because we're gonna.
What's up?
Gonna be the primary.
Yeah, I got time.
Yeah, but in the wrap up of your interview, is
Yep.
there any last words you want to say? You want to shout out or anything?
I will say, check for that album. Make sure you check for those videos. We are not messing around. It is cinematic and it is lonely, and we are going for the gold on this one. We are going to be releasing a lot of music, doing a lot of shows, and we are going to be out there. If you do not know the name, get familiar right now because you will know soon. It's Trads.
We might be possibly looking at the next winner of the Culture Game.
Man, there's probably so many people that want to go for that title. You crazy?
You're looking at him dead in the eyes.
And when he got there, they said you gotta watch out for Nabi. And then when I got off, my favorite part of that battle was when I got off stage and he dapped me up. He goes, "I love it." He said, "I hate that I like you so much."
I was talking to my girl the whole time. I'm talking to my girl. I'm like, man, I really wish I could hate this dude. I really do because I want to hate him so I can be competitive and go at his throat. But like every single battle, even if you were facing, I forget who you were facing. You're facing somebody terrible. No offense, but they were awful. And the whole time you were in their bars, nodding your head. You weren't just standing there like a dickhead. And I was like, he's way too good of a dude. I can't just be like, fuck this guy. Like, it was just too much, man. But that's where it comes from, man. It's all love. It's all love.
That's
like,
what it is,
there's no animosity, man. I want everybody to succeed. I want everybody to do well.
That's what's up, brother. We appreciate you. We're gonna end up doing another interview. So one more time, we want to give a shout out.
Let's go get. Yo, I can't smoke up here, so I'm
gonna get that one right there.
outside and get some pizza, and I'll come back.
Dude, I'm trying to work
they
on
got subs. What do they got
I'm
for
trying to
subs
work on
up there?
getting that.
You gotta bring him a little picture
So,
downstairs and be like, listen, Baba. I'm
that's not in the menu?
Baba.
So, we want to transition over. We're going to transition over. We're not going to go to video. We're transitioning over. This is our young intern, Simone. She helps us out with a lot of things over here. She grabs our pizza. She runs the boards. She does a little bit of everything. So, Simone, how old are you?
I am 16, turning 17.
A lot of the stuff that goes on with the youth. We wanted you to do a piece today, and the piece is going to be on. Just do a little segment. And if anybody out there has a commentary and wants to say anything, the call-in number is 401-751-5600. Hunt as G says from the Bronx. So Simone, what is your piece on tonight that you want to do tonight?
My piece is on the comparison of 90s music and today's music. And it was inspired, but it was on Tuesday actually when we had a day where we just had to dress up like we were from the 90s. And then
Did you what, Kango?
That's from the 80s, buddy.
No, but like everybody in the school dressed up like they were from the 90s, and then we watched 90s music videos.
How many people wore Coogee sweaters?
Huh?
How many people wore Coogee sweaters?
And shit.
Actually, nobody.
What?
I'm gonna tell you why, because everybody there, all the girls, they just wore crop tops and like baggy jeans.
That's not surprising,
That got me
but I wish
so
it was.
annoyed.
That's
bro.
like the Aaliyah style. I mean, girls in the 90s dressed like guys. I don't know why. It make no sense. I don't know. Yeah, baggy jeans and
They got the
No, I
Timbs
wore a
on, the
flannel and
boots.
ripped pants.
Alright, there you go.
Combat boots.
I mean, you can wear that today though. You know what I mean?
can,
That's
like,
not like Strictly
so-
90s.
So what did they
Yeah.
think
So,
about
yeah, so
all
let's
this?
start- so
Like,
back
So
yeah.
what they thought about the music, surprisingly enough, everybody in the class knew like all the songs because the people in my class, right? Even though we listened to like Lil Yachty and Dram and whatever, I don't know. Exactly. We still have a connection to the iconic music that came from the 90s because I feel like there's always another generation and we're always going to take something after the generation before us.
Yeah.
So like we get a little taste of people like Biggie Smalls
Yeah, and their parents listen to it.
and too big on that. They got me into it actually. So yeah, there's not a huge disconnection from it, but there kind of is now with social media and like everybody who wants to be a rapper is a rapper. You get it? So
Well, they rap. They're not really rapping.
they don't rap. Here's something. If they wanted to rap and they wanted what they said to be heard, they would be doing it. But
Yeah.
instead, they're just like putting their voice behind a beat and saying nothing, absolutely nothing. So there's no meaning, and that's not for everybody, because there are artists out there who do like focus on like their
Topics,
poets and
yeah.
like lyrics and everything. And they make sure that's good and they tell a story. But that's rare to find unless you like dig really deep, or sometimes you don't have to go that deep with singers, but like with rappers, like it's hard to find because it's covered by all this stuff that doesn't matter. And all they talk about is sex and girls and drugs.
You know,
And, like, some
it's
people-
like our rappers are rapping over R&B beats, and R&B singers are rapping over rap beats.
They
I
are-
don't
we
I don't
saw,
think
like,
it's
they
fucking
literally
point, man.
stupid bullshit.
That's a good point.
Every like beat that came before us, they just take and then they remaster it.
Well, that's basically what
That's
rap was
all
made.
that's all
That's
that
what
happens.
that's what rap came from,
That's what
though.
hip hop is really.
Yeah,
that's
no,
hip hop.
well, sampling in any music. I mean,
Yeah.
you got bands today that are using riffs from 40 years ago that
Yeah.
nobody knows.
Well,
you know
They
what I
stepping
mean?
on it real quick, boop, and then
Exactly.
they playing it, and then they doing their
But
little guitar.
nowadays,
right?
nobody knows that shit.
Yeah.
They don't know that
Nobody
that's a
does
riff from
know.
so long ago or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna
that
tell you, there was a song, what was it, by Tory Lanez, Say It. And
Oh,
like
boy.
they used the background,
Good
right?
God.
And so I was with my aunt, we were riding home, and then the original song, like where they got that beat from, was
Yeah.
playing, and I didn't know that there was an original
if
song.
you
So
love
you
me,
don't know, but like
who sings
when
that
you
song?
hear it,
If you love me, show it. If you need me, do it.
like there's always
I will say this
Straight
though,
through.
Tory does that with like almost
Well,
every song.
well, see, that's
Almost every single song.
reggae guys. Like a lot of them reggae artists and like islanders, it's a certain name for it too. They take like old songs and they remake them in the reggae style. So that's
problem-
like that. They do that a lot.
My problem with what Tory does though, that mixtape that just came out, the Chicks tape, every single song is like a hit from the 90s.
Yes,
like
I know.
he's not even giving it time. He's taking songs that are still on the radio and just putting them behind 808s and hi-hats and like
Yeah.
I don't know,
no
man.
originality.
I
But
don't
that,
know.
that's what 50 Cent did too. 50 Cent started like that when he
Yeah,
first started.
that's-
He was he used to make mixtapes and he used to go on there and remake everybody's song and do it over again. He
But,
kinda- he
I
kinda
but that's
made that
fine when
popular.
That's
you're
when
using
you're
the
starting,
actual
like-
beat. He's
Yeah.
just taking the
Starters.
beat and throwing shit on it, and like
Well,
you
that's-
said,
And
you
it
didn't
gets
even know that was a
popular. It
song.
gets popular.
That's what I'm saying. You didn't even know that "Say It" was there was an old
Well,
song.
see, like back in the day when I used to live in Brooklyn, when I was a kid, you walk down the street and like the Jamaicans be playing like some reggae dude doing Billie Jean. It's not like they're notorious for that shit. I'm
That's
telling you,
funny, man.
They're notorious for that. It's common. It's real common in the reggae world, man.
That's cool,
So
too,
that's kind of where you
because,
get it from.
I got some buddies in a reggae band who do shit like that too. They take old shit. And
White
just-
guys love reggae.
They do, and they all got dreads.
Love reggae. You know what I think? Because I think that back. I think part of that has to do is years ago. Not so much now because times have changed. Years ago, reggae was more accessible to white people in the sense that
Yeah.
if you picked up a microphone and you like hip hop, you were trying to be black. But
Yeah.
you didn't get that same thing with being in reggae because
Yeah.
reggae has that one love, universal.
Oh,
concept.
absolutely.
So I think it's more acceptable. But Simone, back to the floor is yours. So back
Yeah. Okay. Well, just to add on to that, I have a friend who makes beats, and when he started like using loops. So I think that's kind of a way to enter in.
Yep.
But if you continue to do it, then it's a mess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, that's what hip hop was originated off of.
Yeah, I
They went
know.
from disco
But, like-
disco records, and they used to take like a little piece of the disco record that would break down and
Yeah.
just flip it over.
But when you put originality into it,
Yeah.
Like, it sounds good. Like what you said with the instruments, the guitars, the violins. Like,
Exactly.
I like making music like that. Why I want to
That's what's cool, too.
It's cool.
Everybody will always resonate with, like, a different sound. But that's the thing. You want to make it, I don't want to say nostalgic, familiar. You want the sound, like, that's why I like Tory Lanez. Like, everything he puts out is familiar to somebody. And, he's got a good voice. He can rap. So, like, the song comes out, they're familiar with it, and it sounds good, so they're going to bump it. But that's my one problem with Tory. I do love Tory's music, but he does that a lot.
Another thing that goes along with that, one of the guests we had on here not too long ago, I forget who it was, and he was saying that now a lot of people get away from sampling because you have to pay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You spend a lot of money on sampling now.
Yeah, so you most of your money to get back, you have to pay for clearing the sample and stuff like that. So it's even better for people to be more original. So the money goes straight to you at the end of the day. You have to clear those samples and pay somebody actual.
Beats when you hear like certain, you know what I'm saying, like trap music or whatever, it just be like boom.
Trap music
Boom,
is.
boom.
Well,
Boom.
well, that is trap.
Crazy.
Nah, you're right.
That was like,
And then it's like
right.
one joint that go
well, it's like,
boom, boom.
well, like I always say, it's like
That shit is
you're
crazy.
Puerto Rican, so like merengue with bachata. It's not merengue if it doesn't have the beat pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not trap if it doesn't have that beat pattern. It's basically the same
Just
thing.
like one string,
Yeah.
one string that get you far.
Trap if trap really only has like a certain amount of instruments in trap music that they use, like there's the bells, the couple
bass,
strings,
yeah.
the kick.
bass.
If it has anything outside of that, it's not trap music. Just like if bachata had a different, they have like reggaeton. Reggaeton. It's not reggaeton if it doesn't have that for the drum pattern.
You should make a dance all doing the same
Yeah, that's
thing
just
over and over.
That's just the way it is. So that's like a subdivision of hip hop now that was just made along the way. Like, you know what I mean? That's just the way it is. And I like to compare it to Spanish music because it's like the same thing. You know what I mean? It's like
I love Spanish.
Yeah, it
music,
will always
though.
be the same tune.
I do.
Yeah.
And stick to that guitar that you always hear.
yeah, yeah, just the way it is.
That's it. You be like, damn, it's the same beat. Romeo got like 10 hits with the same beat.
Yeah, I mean that's the subdivision of the type of music. You
That's
know
like
what I
what me and Nabi were talking about though with like punk rock. Like almost every riff it's just but that's the genre. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
what
and everybody else
that's what those
makes
people are
sense,
looking for.
yeah.
Exactly.
Then after a
You
while,
should, like,
it gets
identify
old.
genre with what like the beat is sounding like.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
Yes, and
So
I'm sorry. After a while,
No,
it gets
I
old.
like, I don't think that there's a problem with that, honestly. Like, if you have a specific genre that you have to stick to, I mean, it's always nice to go outside of the.
Yeah.
Like,
Depending on who you collabing
When
with.
you were thinking
Yeah.
about doing this piece about the 90s and all that, what was some reoccurring things that you were running into? Because obviously you did some research and you looked at a couple of things.
Yeah, I did.
What was some bumping? Are there any
reoccurring things is
or
that,
elements or things that you bumped into?
well, if
Anything
we're gonna
that
like,
stood out, you know?
what stood out was that nowadays there's like a lot of rap, but it's depressing. Like, I get that.
Emo
before-
rap.
Yeah, it's emo. It's literally emo. Everyone is in their feelings. Like, I don't understand why. Like, before you can talk about it, right? You can talk about your problems, but like, you
Yeah,
can
be
make a
happy
connection
sometime.
with it. You can be happy.
Yeah.
There was some good music.
You gotta have a good
that
balance.
You can have a good
Yeah.
time with it. But then now, it's just everybody's sad over
That's my problem with J. Cole.
everything and Drake.
And then they mad at the guys who happy. What is he always partying for? Why he always want to be around girls? Motherfucker, you should go join him sometime. God damn it.
And then you wonder why this generation's so depressed.
Yeah.
Everybody's so soft.
The girls are tougher than they boys now, man.
We literally are.
I'm telling you.
Y'all are too smart.
Man,
The girls are tougher than the boys right these
look
days,
at the
man.
B-boy battle, man. It was the B-boys that were gonna fight instead of the MCs. Man.
Were they gonna fight?
You didn't see? Yo,
Nah.
they was
I
dancing in
didn't see
between like y'all
Oh, I
It
saw that.
got
I
a
saw
little
that.
aggressive
Yeah,
and all that
you're right.
pushing, and
You're
I was
right.
like, yo, they about to start thumping the
You're right.
B-boys.
Yeah.
They start fighting like this.
I think it
There was
should be
some
noted
kicks.
too that it wasn't even during the competition. They were just having a good time with it, and it
that's
almost
what
turned into a
was.
fight. That's
what it
crazy,
was.
man.
So what else did you come up with on your research on this comparison?
Research. Well, I already went over like the lyric stuff and like the background beat and the people, just in general. Like,
And all the guys in the new age, there's only guys in the videos. Like there's only dudes with no shirts on in one room.
Like,
Does it
everybody.
bother you that that some of these current artists dress the way you dress? Men?
No, because I never see them. I never see them. I literally like.
'Cause they wear-
There are
they
a few
wear-
gay
they
guys
wear
at my
women's
class,
kind of
like in my
size
grade.
pants.
Gay guys are fine.
People wear so many skinny jeans.
We expect.
The only one that can pull off the blouse for me personally.
Dress like.
What the fuck?
He was wearing a crop top.
How? What? I don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
I don't want to
What the
know.
hell? Oh, he wasn't wearing a crop. Well, that's Prince though. You got away with that.
No,
that's Prince.
Stop with somebody in her class.
Oh, he's not Prince. No.
Just say he's not Prince. Fuck that.
I mean-
He was talking about a 16-year-old dude.
Nah, I mean, like, if you're gay, then you're gay. You expect that from a gay person. But if you're like a regular dude.
Okay, since I like support LGBT and everything, so
Course.
like at first it did surprise me because I've never seen that before. I was kind of just like, oh, interesting, but like
Yeah.
I got used to it as like.
Yeah.
You can't say anything bad about
Yeah,
it. 'Cause
wear
people
whatever you
nowadays are
want.
just
Fuck
really
whoever you
proud
want. I don't give a
No,
shit, man.
like-
Just keep it up.
ASAP Rocky wears a dress.
Basically.
I mean, you can't be wearing a dress and then next thing you know, you're talking about
Oh my God,
shooting
I saw
people
a
up
man
and stuff
wearing
like that. I mean, that's just weird.
Party.
Young Doug was wearing a dress on his album.
Yeah.
He had a better dress
Yeah.
than me at this party.
Oh my
this young
God.
boy. He did. It was
said
all
this young boy.
glittery
For real.
and everything. He was like, hi.
Oh shit.
I just don't like the rappers that be talking about like they gangsters and stuff, and then they're the only people in the video, like 5 dudes with no shirt on, jumping around in one little room. That's just weird, man.
It's like the New York Giants after they won the last game of the season. They all went down to Miami and they're all in jeans, boots, and no shirt.
Yeah, on the boat by themselves. Where's the girls at, guys?
Where the girls at? But why are you on a boat with Timbs and jeans and still no shirt?
Those are New Yorkers. New Yorkers wear Tim's and a pamper.
Tim's in the sand. You know,
We go to the beach.
Behind them.